Donald Trump making clear in his statement announcing this that she was the first member of Congress to endorse him. And we know there's a pretty real loyalty test here to building out the cabinet and working for Donald Trump. What will the gentlewoman from New York mean for the United Nations?
Well, Joe, I think it'll be very interesting to see how this all plays out. Certainly, Stefanik is a New Yorker. She represents a district in upstate New York. So it makes some sense for her to be going home in a way to represent the U.S. at the United Nations there in Manhattan. She has really made her brand, at least recently, as being one of Donald Trump's staunchest supporters and also a staunch supporter of Israel. And she has really hammered home that message with the hearings that she's held, sort of holding college administrators' feet to the fire on anti-Semitism on campus and other things of that nature. So I think that you could see certainly her pushing that line at the United Nations. And also, if you recall, in the first Trump administration, Nikki Haley, although she wasn't in Washington, D.C., was a very prominent voice for Trump's brand, for his policies at the United Nations. And it's a very high-profile position because, excuse me, of the media market and everything else in New York, and also all the world leaders coming in and out. So I think certainly it signals that whatever Trump decides to do on important issues like Russia and Ukraine, Israel, Gaza, Israel, Lebanon, the Middle East, other things of that nature, he's going to have a very loyal, very vocal champion in Stefanik there at the United Nations.
Ironic timing to hear or see Donald Trump post on Truth Social over the weekend that Nikki Haley would not be hired as part of this incoming administration. Big questions about Ukraine as we consider her impact on the UN discussion. There's been reporting that Donald Trump met with Vladimir Putin or by phone since the election. There's also reporting that he is setting up a meeting with Volodymyr Zelensky. Do you get the sense, as he tells supposedly Vladimir Putin to not escalate the war in Ukraine, that we could have some kind of a breakthrough to coincide with the inauguration?
It's possible. That's what he has advertised as being his position. He has said, I will resolve this on day one or even before day one of my administration.
He's got a couple of months to resolve it now.
He's got some time. It's a very difficult situation to resolve without giving Putin what he wants, which is to keep the territory that he has already seized, his troops have already seized in Ukraine. And the Ukrainians do not view that as a viable option, and they have said that they're going to continue to fight on in any case. Now, the problem is, of course, that without the backing of the U.S. and Ukraine's European allies, it's going to be very difficult to continue that fight. So the U.S. is obviously a key part of this whole equation. Whether Europe can step up in the absence of continued U.S. support or not, all needs to sort of play out here. But I think if I'm Volodymyr Zelensky sitting in Kyiv, I'm a little nervous about how all this is going to play out at the moment.